program planner and analyst with the Transportation Demand Management team at the University of South Florida's Center for Urban Transportation Research. At selected Hillsborough County schools, Mr. Jackman continues to develop and manage walking school buses and bicycle trains as part of the Safe Routes to School program. Mr. Jackman also conducts outreach programs and services for university students, businesses, and community residents, educating them on alternative forms of transportation. He is an active member of the District 7 Community Traffic Safety Team. Prior to working with CUTR, Mr. Jackman helped create and manage community programs for the Hillsborough County Parks, Recreation, and Conservation Department. And so after Mr. Jackman's presentation, we will have time for question and answers. Jason?
Thank you, Sarah. So this is the Walking School Bus and Bicycle Train program, Carpooling Without the Car. It's been an amazing program over the past 3.5 years. I've definitely learned a lot about our community in Hillsborough County. I've learned a lot about how students travel to school within this county and around the nation. It's just been a fantastic program. This is a program funded by the Florida Department of Transportation, District 7, and managed by the Center for Urban Transportation Research. I actually want to ask a few questions before we get into the presentation. In the U.S., what percentage of students K through 8 walked and biked to school in 1969? Give you a few minutes to get the answers. About to close the polls. Okay. Well, basically, it was 48%. Next question. What percentage of students K through 8 currently walk and bike to school? Okay. Yeah, it seems like everybody is quite aware that, yes, it's less than 13%, and these are taken from the National Household Travel Survey from 2008 to 2009, based on a 2011 study for the U.S. school travel. So that's where we're at. And here's a quick illustration of the 1969 modes of travel used by all students. And I thought this was interesting to see, the variation of school travel by students, whether it's riding in a school bus or walking and biking to school. And then you see the automobile at the bottom, the passenger, 14%. And it seems like we have, over the years, reversed this trend from students now are below 13%, and now the automobile is more used. So they've kind of switched from the vehicles, the automobile and the students have actually switched roles here. So I thought this was an interesting illustration where we're at, and it's definitely taken a trend towards the better these days. We're definitely promoting safe routes to school in many cities throughout the nation. So we're really excited about this program. Here's an agenda of the presentation today. I'm going to discuss the program mission, what is a walking school bus and bicycle train, how we develop the walking school bus, and promoting it to the families and the schools, how we can get the programs in these schools and encourage the families to get involved, how we can sustain the walking school bus, and many barriers and obstacles that we have faced over the 3.5 years. The mission, we definitely identify the transportation needs for families that participate in Hillsborough County schools. Recently, with the school bus reduction, there's been more need for this program in the schools. So we've been receiving a lot of calls from parents in schools. We need more walking programs at our schools. So it's been an exciting year so far. It's only been a few months. We have encouraged parents to walk and bike with their children to school as part of the program. Educating the students and parents on bicycle and pedestrian safety. We have a program for that as part of the Safe Routes to School program. And and that follows increasing safety for walking and biking to school. And we like to define all the barriers why students aren't walking to school. You know, is it the school that's saying we don't encourage walking and biking to school, or is it the parents that say, you know, it's not safe? And that part of this program is to relieve those safety issues of parents and allow parents to walk with their children to school. So what is a walking school bus? A walking school bus is a parent-led walking group. In many cases, we have older students walking with their siblings to school, and in that case, we love to educate all the students that walk to school so they can tell their younger siblings how to walk safe as well. But as far as the parent-led walking group, it's a two parent leaders for every 6 to 8 children, and in some cases, it's an informal group. You may have one parent with 2 of their younger siblings, or you have one parent with 10 kids from around the neighborhood. So it all depends. We definitely promote any style of walking school bus as long as we have parents walking with their children to school. We like to promote the idea of more eyes on the street and more parents just taking that responsibility within their community. And one way we've coined the program is carpooling without the car. It's definitely helped give parents a visual of what exactly the walking school bus program is, and that's what it is. It's carpooling. You're walking by a driveway of a student's home, and you pick them up along the way to school. It's the same idea as carpooling. So that kind of phrase has helped us communicate better with parents about the program. One particular example of the walking school bus is Sulphur Springs Elementary School. It is a Title I school in Hillsborough County, and there are no school buses going to the school, so the only option for students is to walk to school or drive with their parents to school. And this is a really good walk-in school. We had the school develop a parent-university partnership program for the parents, so the parents go into the school, find volunteer opportunities, and basically this is what really enhanced the walking school bus program. Mr. Lucky was a parent walking with his daughter to school, and he decided, I want to do this walking school bus. So he would walk around the neighborhood on the way to school. It was about a mile walk, and he had a whistle with him. And every time he passed the home with the student, he would blow the whistle really loud, and the student would walk out of their home, down the driveway, and went along with the walking school bus. He was actually asking for a large ringing bell because he felt the whistle wasn't loud enough. But I told him I think the whistle would be fine and not to annoy the neighbors. But he did a really fantastic job, and he's continuing to do this program today. And we found out that with this program, it did improve the student attendance and reduce tardiness to school because students were walking in a group together, and it just really worked at Sulphur Springs Elementary, and they're really excited to continue this program this year. Another way you can encourage the walking school bus is getting community and local government programs involved. The City of Tampa Recreation Department has their own walking school bus at a city park, which is a half-mile from the elementary school. And it's a half-mile walk, and there are 3 park leaders that walk 50-plus students from the school to the park. They used to drive down the street to pick up the students and make 2 or 3 trips. Well, after their van was taken away, this was the better option. And the students love it. They walk on the sidewalk. The coaches are very great to the kids. And like I said, it's a great physical activity after school. You walk from the elementary school to the park, and like I said, it's a great option. It's another way to get the walking school bus incorporated into your community. The bike train is very similar to the walking school bus. It's a parent-led bike group. The students get to school quicker. It's a preferred option by the students because, a 10-mile walking trip can be a less than 5-minute bike trip. And the parents love it because it's a quick bike trip as well. They can drop the kids off at the school and bike back, and it's less than 10 minutes. You can travel further distance to school by bike. At many schools in Hillsborough, basically the trip is 2+ miles to school. It's very bikeable. There's sidewalks and there's connectivity, but walking is not an option sometimes. So the biking trip is definitely an option for further distance travel for parents and students. Many student bicycle groups, some of the parents at many of the schools allow their kids to bike to school in their own student bike groups, and this is a great thing to happen when parents have that confidence in their students to follow the safety rules. And we're seeing more and more of this today, where parents train their kids how to bike properly. They make sure they wear their helmets, and they're biking in groups together just like they used to. And again, children like to bike to school because it is fun. So this is a great program for communities and getting parents talking to each other and students, biking together. It's just a great program for communities like the ones we have in Hillsborough. It's been a constant presence. We've had to have a presence at the school, and we needed to be persistent at the school and continue the partnerships. Without doing all of the 3 Ps, I call them, this program wouldn't have been as successful, because I understand the schools, they definitely have their own set agenda with their curricula in the school, and we just want to be a support system for the school and the community as well as the parents. So we just definitely have to show our face and talk with the principal, talk with the schools, communicate with the parents. It's been an ongoing thing. That's why I think we really need to get the schools more involved in the way students travel to school instead of coming from the outside. But as you can see in this photo on the far right is a social worker, Kathy Counts, at Kimball Elementary, and just having someone in the school where they can lead a program like the Safe Routes to School program. I can be that guidance, and then she can take it over from there, and that's been all the difference the past 2 years working with Kimball. Just having that person to lead a program like this, and I can go to other schools and have that other person be a leader of that program. So it's a domino effect, and I'm liking where it's going, and I think that's what makes this program more effective, when you have more administration within the school involved. Here's kind of a roadmap of how we develop the walking school bus, how we get started. We find a school with already good connectivity with sidewalks, maybe street lighting, and then we decide, okay, this is a walking school. There's few school buses going here. This school needs safe routes to school. We talk to the principal about it. 9 times out of 10, they are on board. They definitely promote safety of the students and parents walking and biking to school. We outreach to the community. We reach the PTA members. I recently went to a PTA meeting, and they said, okay, we have congestion in front of our school every morning. How do we get rid of it? And I talked to them about the walking school bus program, and they're on board. They're finding neighborhood leaders. We call them corner captains for each neighborhood, and they're on board, and we're developing that right now. And pretty soon they'll be able to do this program by themselves and have it sustained throughout the years, and that's what I'm excited about. Getting the teachers involved with the student tally forms, measuring how many students walk, do the pre-post tallies. That's been really great as far as collecting the data. I mentioned Kathy Counts at Kimball Elementary, but a social worker, some schools, they have social workers that know these children, how they get to school, if they're not going to school because of their transportation mode. So it's great to connect with those social workers at each school. Moving on to walk to school days. These are great days to connect with the parents. It's great to exchange information. Hey, are you interested in starting a walking school bus? Give me your number. We can talk over the phone. Maybe get a walking group started. So walk to school days are a valuable day to connect with the parents and get them more involved in programs at the school and with the Safe Routes to School program. And then from there you go to the walking school bus, and you can start with a Walking Wednesday program, and usually if you get them on a walk to school day or a Walking Wednesday, more likely they are inclined to walk more than once a day on a Walking Wednesday. So marketing the program, for the first two years we had the Safe Routes to School National Center logo, which we use, and actually this National Center has they compile the data for us and give us really accurate information on the pre and post tallies. But we wanted something local for our community in Hillsborough in the city of Tampa. So we created our own logos to let parents know that this is a program that's here. You know, the National Center has their logo, and this is what we've seen go out throughout the nation as each community is developing their own logo. And basically, we said we want our own logo. We want a Tampa Bay logo. So we created our own logo. We have a bike train logo. We have a walk to school day logo. We have a map logo showing the schools we've been working with. But it's important to show that, you know, Safe Routes to School is here in Tampa, and letting parents know that, yeah, there is a national program. This is a national program, but it is localized, and it's a program for you and your community. We've also been through social media. We have a Facebook, we have a Twitter, we have a website. So we've been using this, and some of the schools actually use the Facebook quite often, and it's been a great way to communicate with parents with their walk to school day events, or, you know, if they're upset with congestion, they'll tweet it, and you know, we have a response for that. We're like, we're here for you to meet your needs for walking to school, for your students walking to school. Let's do a walk to school day, get this year started. So it's been pretty valuable to have this social media for the Safe Routes to School program. And we've connected with other programs throughout the nation. Hey, what are you doing? It's almost like a listserv. Hey, what are you doing? You know, that's great. So we send each other messages, and you know, we spawn some ideas off each other's programs, and I think that's been all the difference, kind of learning from each other. The proof is in the car line. This was actually at a walk to school day event at Turner Elementary, and, you know, besides promoting health, safety, and transportation, you know, sometimes you have to sell it to the schools. You have to sell this program to say, okay, this is why you should be a part of the program. Well, the principal at this particular school, you know, wasn't familiar with the program, but decided, okay, let's do a walk to school day. Well, we decided to do a walk to school day, and the principal actually had to step out of her office in the morning and look at the car line. The car line was cut in half. All the students were walking within the nearby neighborhood, and she couldn't believe her eyes. And she says, okay, we're on board. And, you know, that's another good thing about walk to school days. You know, you really show the results of how effective walking to school is for your traffic congestion in front of the school. And that's what I've been hearing about all year from the different schools that aren't participating. We have too much congestion. It's not safe for the students walking. We need to promote safety in our schools. So, you know, we're here for any school's needs. And like I said, this principal here in the photo, she was convinced after one walk to school day, and we're continuing to work with them. We definitely attend many community meetings. We attend community traffic safety team meetings, various community meetings around the school, as well as PTA meetings, general PTA meetings, and so, you know, we have Lucy Barr here from Florida Department of Health. She attended this community meeting at Nine Eagles Community, telling the parents, you know, this is why your children should walk to school. It's good for their health, physical activity, and, you know, Lucy's been a great partner with the program, as well as Bevan Maynard from Safe Kids Tampa. So we all attend these community meetings together, and we definitely help and support each other out within the program. So I have another poll question for you. If you want to answer, what percentage of pedestrian fatalities among the 14 and younger age group occurred at non-intersection locations in 2009? Okay, some say 54, some say 74, 8%, 24. Give you a couple seconds. Okay, I'm going to close the poll. The actual answer is 74%. And this is coming from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Two more questions. According to Florida law, a bicycle rider or passenger under blank years of age must wear a bicycle helmet. Wow. Okay. Give you a couple seconds for this. Okay, closing the polls. And the actual answer is 16 years of age. And those last two questions, basically I asked those because many parents don't realize the importance of crossing the street at a crosswalk or staying on a sidewalk when you're walking or following the safety rules of pedestrian safety rules. And basically we have parents teaching their kids poor pedestrian habits, even bicycle habits. So we definitely want to promote pedestrian safety for parents and adults. And for this child pedestrian safety curriculum, we try to go into every school if they have the time to book us for the allotted time. But we go off the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration lesson plan. It's K through 5, and it's only 20 minutes a class, and we teach one grade level at a time. And I've got to tell you, I love doing this. It's great. You know, I think the students really have their own experiences of being a pedestrian, and they really, you know, it's a very interactive presentation. It's very, you know, I love to present to the students because their stories, you know, really resonate with the other students as well. And you know, this is a great curriculum plan that I've been going off of, and I do enjoy it, and I think the students enjoy it as well. And I receive a lot of good feedback from the teachers that attend it. So I think it's important to have this kind of safety curriculum for the students when they're participating in a walking school bus program. It goes hand in hand. We also have a middle school curriculum. It's a separate lesson plan. It's more, okay, these are the safety steps. Here's some information of, you know, injuries in the state of Florida and why you should be a safe walker. So, you know, the middle school curriculum is separate, but it's very important we get to those middle schools as well. We also have available to us a pedestrian and bicycle safety information course for parents. You know, like I said, parents are walking with their children, and sometimes they're showing them poor safety habits, like not crossing at a crosswalk when the crosswalk is 10 feet away. You know, take that extra time to go to a crosswalk. And we've been very fortunate to have a program available to us, like WalkWise Tampa Bay, to present to the PTA members about pedestrian safety. So we're really excited about programs like that. And it really does help out the program and make parents realize, wow, pedestrian safety is important. We need to teach our kids how to walk safe. And through that program, we can help start walking school buses as well. And in the bicycle safety, I mean, not every parent knows that under 16 kids must wear bicycle helmets while riding a bicycle. So that resonates with middle school students. And, you know, it's getting the message out and letting students become leaders in their own community and to other students to wear bicycle helmets, for example. But it's very important to teach parents pedestrian safety along with the walking school bus program. I mentioned that we measure students walking and biking to school as a way of measuring how our performance is over the year with the walking school bus program. And we found that, you know, it's approximately between 10 and 15% of the students walk and bike to school at each school that's participating. And in a few cases, we have schools with over 40% and over 60%, and those are usually the schools that they don't have school buses going to the schools, or it's just all walking schools. So we're finding the average is between 10 and 15% with the schools we're working with. Some of the infrastructure projects that are happening locally help spawn walking school bus programs, and this particular one with the Nine Eagles project that was funded through the Safe Routes to School infrastructure funding through Florida Department of Transportation. And this really helped connect the local neighborhood to elementary and middle school, which were right next to each other. So now we're currently in the process of educating the students on pedestrian and bike safety with the help of Safe Kids Tampa, and then eventually we will start a walking school bus program. We're continuing to do neighborhood bicycle rides on weekends with parents of children attending these schools. So we have a ton of things going on because of an infrastructure project like this, and we're really excited to get a walking school bus program going, and I think it's going to happen sooner than later, but it takes the help of partnerships and community to get a program like this started. And it is making the right connections. Right now there are parents and families using this new sidewalk to go to the store, even to go to school. So the evidence is right there that infrastructure does help and encourage students to walk and bike to school. Some of the barriers of this program, we had different issues and situations where, okay, we really need to reevaluate how we're going to work with this school. For instance, parent participation. Some schools, the parent participation is lacking, so and if there are students currently walking in groups, we like to target those 4th and 5th graders walking with the group to be the leaders of their walking school bus and take that responsibility for their group. And that's why we go into the schools and talk about leadership, talk about pedestrian safety, and that's been really effective for those older students walking with their younger siblings to school. But we've been talking to the school and the school administration, PTA, and that's a great route to take to find those parent participants for the walking school bus program. Public school bus reductions in Hillsborough County. There's been a few schools that really felt the effect this year, at the beginning of the year, and we're really trying to help them out as much as possible to help their needs out to get their children to school as far as the walking school bus and bicycle train program is concerned. The infrastructure, as you can see in this photo, this is actually a photo around Lutz Elementary that we're working with this year, and it's a semi-rural area. However, the school connects with a neighborhood, but they have this dirt road, and right now we're trying to get the community involved to see what they can do to connect this community to the school better with maybe infrastructure, but it's about getting that community support. And we run into infrastructure issues like this. However, students and parents will walk and bike to school if there's a way. Crossing guards and crosswalks. I actually saw in the paper the other day they wanted to reduce the crossing guards at a few locations because it was unsafe for the crossing guards. Well, with the school, and these schools actually, their students walkers are up to 60%. So if you take the crossing guards out, then they're just busing the students across the street, and that's working backwards. We really need to promote safety within the crossing guard program, within the community, and find a way to make it safer for the crossing guards so they can help the children cross the street. So that's one thing I saw recently, and we definitely want to move forward with safer walking and biking to school. Major roadways around the school, that's a big barrier. Obviously they have to bus. It's more of a hazardous busing when you have a 8-lane road going across the school. So we definitely understand that. We want to promote the safe routes to school for students already walking and biking to school, or capable of walking and biking to school within the safe infrastructure area. Crime and distance. I think distance has been more of an issue. I think if it's 2+ miles, unless they're biking, most likely they will carpool to school or drive with their parents to school. And weather has rarely been an issue. I can't recall many mornings where it's raining, and really, what's wrong with walking in the rain in the morning if you have an umbrella or a raincoat? Like I said, it's rare that it rains in the morning, but I ordered actually ponchos for one school to give out to the students because that's their only option is to walk to school. So when it does rain, they do have the ponchos, and they love them, and I definitely think having ponchos or umbrellas for parents and students is something that's appreciated by the walking school bus groups. This program would not be possible without the volunteers and parents involved and partners. The list goes on, and I probably have a few sheets of partners and volunteers to list here. Most notable for the partners would be like the PTA members, the social workers at the school, Safe Kids Tampa, and Florida DOH, Communities Putting Prevention to Work. Like, they've been amazing help. whether it's the education, teaching the students, or helping out with the walk to school days, or going to meetings. It's been really an amazing experience, and I expect this list to expand over the years even more. And this is what it's all about. This is what Safe Routes is all about. Connecting the right people together and working together. So it's just been an amazing experience. The current program, again, we're working with 17 schools in Hillsborough County for the walking school bus and bicycle training program. We're doing more weekend neighborhood bicycle rides. We had one recently in Tampa Palms Elementary. We're working, which went very well. Basically, we had parents biking around the neighborhood, which they pass their home, and then they pass the school, and they say, well, that didn't take long. We can do this more often. We're working on a neighborhood bicycle ride in Temple Terrace around Lewis Elementary, which is another school, and pretty excited about that. Leadership outreach is something we've been focusing on this year. Talking to our leaders in the area, whether it's the county commissioners or the city leaders, the BPAC meetings, the MPO meetings, whoever we can talk to, say, hey, Safe Routes is here. We're here to stay. How can you get involved as a leader in our community? What can you do to support this program in our communities and in our schools? We're working on the school district. The school district is, saying, okay, we have a bus reduction. What can we do to fill in that gap? Is the Safe Routes to School program, will that be able to, get students safely to school through the walking school bus program? So, we're definitely building that conversation up and, connecting the dots with this program in the schools and the community. Working on the school district policies. Like I said at the beginning of the year, we ran into, okay, schools need this program. However, the schools already have their set plans. So I think it's ideal for the school districts to look at their transportation policies, especially locally, and say, what do we need to do to improve student walking and biking to school? Bringing Sunshine State standards into the school. Right now, there are bike ped safety clinics that the PE coaches are doing. Safe Kids Tampa has been a really good help with that this year, and it's great to see that they're doing great work with the PE coaches. However, we can bring a bike ped safety curriculum within the classrooms. Get it in the writing for the students. Talk about safety and safety walking and biking to school within each subject matter. So we're definitely working on that right now. Complete street policies. Complete streets is a great thing to do for neighborhood schools. The idea of complete streets is to slow down traffic around the schools with the improved infrastructure. So I think that's been in the talks recently. So we're finding a way to get complete streets involved locally in Hillsborough, and we definitely talked about that at the recent BPAC meetings, and they're very excited about that. And finally, walking and biking to school. Let's get back to how it used to be. Let's fill up our bike racks. Let's get the students biking. Let's see more of the picture on the right, and then students walking home from school with groups of students on the photo on the right. We just really need to get back to how it used to be, and one way we can do that is relieve the fears parents have for walking and biking to schools. However, get the parents involved for walking and biking to school. This is a community effort, and the idea of this program is, really increase the transportation needs for students walking and biking, but bringing the community together. Other than that, like I said, it's been an amazing program, and definitely have interest from other schools over this, even in the beginning of this school year. So I'd like to help every school out I can to get their students safely to school.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Jason, for that thought-provoking and interesting presentation. Now we have time for some question and answers, and so what you can do is click on that Q&A button at the top of your screen and type in your question. And I can get started with some questions of my own while you all are typing in your questions. Jason, do you find that incentives motivate participation? And if you do find that, what kinds of incentives have worked best for you?
Basically, with the incentives, I like to keep the toys down and the safety incentives. You know, I want more safety incentives. So if it's a safety incentive, I definitely go for that. Whether it's a reflective vest, reflective wristband, something they can use every day, not something they can use for one day and that's that. And it's a promotion tool, which is fine. Marketing is a very important part of the program, but I like to go on the safety part of it. And you know, I can't keep enough stuff, like as far as the safety vests. Parents want these safety vests to walk to school, and they want it for their students as well. And I'm like, I only have enough safety vests for parents. Reflective wristbands, like I said, the students love the reflective wristbands. And actually, we did a walk to school day recently where a student was wearing all black. Everything he was wearing, he wore a black vest, black pants, black shoes, and I gave him a reflective wristband, and that was the only thing, you know, really standing out when he was walking away. And I talked to him about wearing bright clothing and keep this reflective wristband with you. And actually, the next week we gave him a reflective vest as well. So, you know, it's one way to start up a conversation with the students or the parents about being visible while walking or biking. And I'd like to stay towards the safety items, so reflective vests or reflective wristbands. Really, you know, that's where I like to stay around.
Okay, great. Does the Safe Routes to School message dovetail with any kinds of other special events of other organizations that you participate in?
Yes. I mean, it's many community meetings that we attend, whether it's a PTA meeting, a local safety meeting. Yeah, this program is applicable to a community effort. So we definitely like to work with all community programs and bring them into the program. So if there's a community walking event, well, I think a community walking event and Safe Routes to School go hand in hand. So we like to, you know, I like to build that conversation with programs like that and say, okay, you are a community walking event, you know, let's talk to the parents attending this event about their kids walking safely to school. And any way I can strike up a conversation about Safe Routes to School at an event or, you know, at a school event or a community event, I will definitely do that.
Yeah, because I know, Jason, you have taken advantage of some other events like the International Walk to School Day in October and the Great American Teach-In. It seems like there are, you know, various other opportunities that Safe Routes to School can dovetail with those other, and I know you've taken advantage of those.
Yeah, with International Walk to School Day, I try to encourage each school to participate. And I try to be at every school. Well, it's only one day a year, so I try to keep all of October open for a walk to school day for the schools, because I really want to be there for the event, because it's a great opportunity to talk to parents and the school principal and just get the ball rolling with walking to school. And even with Great American Teach-In Day, I try every year to assemble a team to go out to as many schools as possible to present pedestrian safety to as many students at each school.
With the new school year comes turnover in school staff and PTA leaders. How do you keep the momentum going with a school you've already worked with, or do you pretty much have to start from scratch at the beginning of each school year? That's a really good question, because this is something I found out last year, that it all depends on the school. I have one school where the students walk every day. Really, they have to walk. Their parents have to work early in the morning. You know, they're by themselves in student groups. So basically, you run into a situation where you're talking with the social worker at the school or the school resource officer, and they know the program. They're encouraging it every year. They're encouraging safety. They're calling me up and saying, let's do this program again. You know, we need you this year. We need you to get the Safe Routes to School ball rolling. Well, you run into another situation at another school where I've had 3 different principals at the same school for the past 3 years.
and the parent turnover and the student turnover rate is, that makes it difficult as well. However, I try to keep contact during the summer with the parents that are currently walking and biking with their students or with their children to school. I try to keep that conversation going, and usually I get an email in August like, all right, when's walk to school day? When can we get this program started again? But you do run into situations where the turnover rate is high at the school, or you get a new school administration. You gotta, I don't want to say it, but you gotta sell it again to the new principal, and usually it's an easy sell. It's like this is a safety program. We're gonna get the students safely to school by walking and biking through walking school buses. So I hate to say it like that, but in a way, it's the principal makes the final decision.
Okay. Here's a question from the audience. What if students living in a block go to different schools, like School A and School B, which are fairly distant from their houses, and the schools are distant also?
So if there are two schools near the school and they decide to go to the further school?
Let's see. Let's see. I'm not sure. Let me read this again. What
Okay.
if students living in a block go to different schools, like School A and School B, which are fairly distant from their houses,
Okay.
and the schools are distant also?
Oh, okay. In Hillsborough County with the school bus policy, if you're living within that 2-mile radius of the school, then you have to walk or bike or be driven to school. Now, if there are two students that live close to each other, really the ideal situation would be they would walk together to school if it was close enough. Now, if distance is a factor, if there's a lack of connectivity, or you have major roadways that cannot be crossed, that's when you say, okay, the option is either school bus or driving to school. We've recently run into a situation with a school in Temple Terrace where it's a great walking community. I think it was bronze certified as a walkable community last year. However, many of the parents have taken their kids out of one of these schools and put them in a local charter school, which is down the street across a busy intersection. And we're seeing more students attending charter schools further distance, away from their neighborhood school. And part of this program is definitely to promote students and parents to get involved, attend their neighborhood school, attend neighborhood programs, get the community together. So it's really up to the parents to make that decision for students, which school they're attending and how they're going to get there. So it's creating that dialogue with parents on pedestrian safety and bike safety, and encouraging physical activity like walking and biking to school, their nearby school.
Jason, another question is, were the students asked if they wanted to participate?
Yes, every year the students, we usually have the principal talk about Walk to School Day as, okay, this is the Walk to School Day event. If you can attend the event, we're going to meet at this park. We're going to, walk to school. If you can attend, that's great. And usually that builds up the encouragement for parents and students to get involved to walk to school. Now, we had a situation a year and a half ago where we sent a parent letter out to the, talking about the program, and we had a parent survey included. And actually, the parent called me, saying, we live 5 miles away. There's no way my child's going to walk. And really, I was on the phone for about an hour with the parent, and I talked to the parent, and I told her, well, we're really encouraging students and parents currently walking or live close enough to walk safely. So, I had to let this parent know about the program, gave her the background, and after that she was fine. But, we really encourage the parents to get involved. And while we're encouraging students to walk and bike, we want to go through the parents. And if the principal can help to, say, give a note out to the students, hey, walk and bike to school day, get involved. We're just trying to get the message out to the parents, but at the same time, let the students know that they can do this as well if they're allowed.
Okay. The next question is, have school districts quantified any savings from the walking school bus and bicycle train programs?
I'm not sure about that, but I think, there's been a dialogue met recently with the district, and, they're realizing with the recent bus reduction that there needs to be something, something has to be done, because you have students walking and biking to school, and in a way, parents aren't sure they want to do that, so now they're driving, and the only option is for them to drive right now because they're not sure it's okay to walk and bike to school. So, that, like I said, the dialogue has been met with the school district, and, they're currently discussing what they can do to help students get safely to school by walking and biking. And, we're hoping that, they'll implement a policy to encourage schools to start walking school bus and bike train programs within the school, within the PTA or whatever parent group they can.
Okay. When you were talking about school district policies, the questioner was wondering whether you meant making your program a part of district policy such that each school must participate in some sort of Safe Routes project.
Well, right now, and this is going back to the last question, right now there's really nothing there for the parents as a solution for the bus reduction. It's basically saying at the beginning of the year, your child will not be bused to school, and if they live under 2 miles, then parents are shocked, and they really depended on this busing because they had to get to work, so now they got to change their schedule around. I think there should be there should be a discussion about that, like what they should do, and I'm not saying it should be mandatory to have a walking school bus program or safe routes to school within the program, but there should be something in place for parents instead of maybe a website. Right now there's a website talking about safety, but how many parents are going to attend a website to look at safety and what they can do as a transportation option? I think driving to school may be more realistic for them. So in a way, we just want the schools to get involved because they are there with the parents. They are talking with the parents. We want the school administration to say, okay, you don't have a bus, you can drive, but here's the other option. That's all. That's pretty much what we would like to see happen, especially with the schools that are struggling right now with congestion around the school.
Okay. Have you tried bicycle pedestrian health journals to help students keep track of their activities? And if so, any success?
No, we haven't had haven't done the health journals yet. That would be a great idea as far as getting that incorporated in the Sunshine State Standards, maybe in an English class or like a writing class within the school. So that's a great idea. Right now, we've really only worked with the art teachers and having students communicate how they feel about walking and biking to school, and the art teachers would have a project for them. But that's a great idea to have some sort of walking and biking journal to school.
Okay. The next attendee asks, he says he enjoyed the presentation, and he says we in public health are trying to get more proactive for many obvious reasons. You talked about leadership, and there is a linked-in group on crime prevention through environmental design. You breezed through the crime, but we're getting ready to do walking audits in Washington, D.C. in Southeast Wards 7 and 8, and Safe Routes have crime concerns that may be getting addressed uniquely. And he says it's worth taking a look.
Yeah, as far as that's great. The walking audits are great to see. The neighborhoods I'm working with vary. Some neighborhoods very well laid out, bike lanes, sidewalks, and the other neighborhoods really need improvement, and there's a lot of crime in the area. And the school is very well aware of this. They have resource officers available. We partnered with the Tampa Police Department. They've been a great help. So yeah, I think a walkability audit, a walking audit around the school is very important. We have partnered with the Neighborhood Watch program for the Tampa Police Department, trying to get those corner captains, the neighborhood leaders involved, let them know. That's another partner, but that's all I've really worked with as far as promoting safety in the realm of crime, I guess, in the neighborhood. And yeah, I think crime is definitely an issue in certain areas. I didn't mean to breeze through it, but we're trying to partner with as many law enforcement organizations as possible, and even the resource officers at many schools.
All right. The next question is, have you encountered any liability issues with the bike trains or walking school buses? Liability either of parent volunteer or school?
No, I haven't. I have not encountered any liability. I let the schools know at the beginning of the year that, this is a safety program for the students and parents. I'm available to talk to the parents about safety, being as a pedestrian or a bicyclist, and even I'm talking to students about safety. So, in a way, like, to see a principal say, no, we don't want the safety program, well, that in a way isn't that a liability risk if you're not taking the safety program for your school and your students and your parents? So no, I haven't run into that issue. I have a waiver form available for parents. Many schools that I'm working with have already a parent background check, if that was the question or the issue. So schools have the background check for the parent volunteers. If you have any question about liability, check out the N-Plan website. I had the opportunity this summer to attend a Safe Routes to School conference in Pinellas, and we had Sarah Zimmerman from N-Plan come out and talk about liability, and they have a lot of resources about liability and how to limit your risk as a resource for the school. But yeah, I haven't run into any issues like that.
Okay, another comment from the audience rather than a question. She says, regarding the journal question, Commit to Be Fit in the Fort Lauderdale area included a journal for students to keep track of their walking and biking activities. This was funded by Safe Routes to School in FDOT's District 4. Let's see. Next question, he says, thanks. We're going after the neighborhood associations as partners, sponsors, even suggesting which specific routes we would take. And let's see, here's a question. Is your agency advocating to bring the age for bicycle helmet use to age 9?
That's actually that's a good question. While looking at questions to ask the audience for this presentation, I knew the under 16 is required, but I was also looking up, bicycle lanes. Where does it say that, when students can or children can ride in the road as opposed to sidewalk? And, I was looking through the Florida Bicycle Law Enforcement Guide, and I really couldn't find it there, but eventually I found it on the website. And that's a good question. 9 is about the age where they're still developing their bike handling skills. 16, yeah, that's the current age, but 9, they're still building those bicycle handling skills. So when I was looking up, where students should ride, I thought it was interesting that they, I guess it's under 10, they're only allowed to ride on the sidewalk. And basically, their bike handling skills aren't developed until after 10 years old, fully developed. And I thought this was interesting because in other communities around the country, including, let's say, Portland, they have a great bike train program up there, and you see parents and students biking in the road, safely in groups. And, I wonder if that were to take place in Tampa, I guess that would be, that wouldn't be advisable. Like, you'd have to ride on the sidewalk or on a multi-use path for students here in Florida. But, I was trying to look up that language, where do students ride? And I definitely would advise students at 16 to 16 and under to continue wearing a helmet, because what we want to do is not say that you can outgrow a helmet, and after you turn 16, that's when it stops. We want everyone to wear a helmet and be safe while riding a bicycle. I still wear my helmet. I wear my helmet every time because you don't have to go 15 plus miles per hour to hurt your head. You can fall down standing still on your bike and hurt your head, hit your head really hard and cause major damage. So I encourage all ages to wear bicycle helmets.
Okay, a webinar attendee asks, can he have access to the documents relative to the program so that he can adapt them for use in Pakistan?
Yes. Yeah. Shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. And then I have one last question. I think it might be similar to a question that was asked earlier. It's a bit of a variation. The question is, if a parent is interested in starting a bike train, do you suggest that he gets permission forms signed by parents, or would verbal agreement be sufficient?
You know, I would honestly, you kind of really gain more interest from the students when it's almost like a field trip. So you have permission forms for the students to give to their parents and say, yeah, okay, students love going on field trips. Why not go on a bike train field trip? So I would definitely encourage that. I think it might create discussion between the parents too. It's not just like, you know, Mrs. Smith is going to take me on a bike train. You know, you have the parent permission form and, you know, maybe a phone number on there, and they can talk over the phone and talk about, you know, the initiative, the bike train initiative. So I would recommend a form. I think that's one way to build communication.
Okay. This is not a question, but a comment. She says, Jason, there's nothing in Florida law which dictates where children should ride bikes. This is up to the parents, but we need to educate them that in some cases it is more dangerous to ride on the sidewalk. Children assume they are safe, but drivers entering or exiting driveways are not looking for children on sidewalks.
I have to agree with that. You know, we have our bike to school days at a few schools, and you know, some of the routes we take, you know, I'm looking at the sidewalk. I'm like, okay, what we have to do every intersection or every driveway, we have to get off our bikes and, you know, dismount our bikes and then get on our bikes after, you know, walk across the driveway and then get back on our bikes and ride. And that's what I tell them to do, and they do that. I definitely have to agree that that's where drivers look for bicyclists in the road riding with traffic. And a lot of parents in the area, in Hillsborough and Pinellas and Pasco, you know, they don't know that riding against traffic in the road or even on the sidewalk increases your risk 3 to 4 times greater riding against traffic. So, you know, we definitely encourage riding with traffic, but as far as riding on the sidewalk, I have to encourage that right now because, you know, telling parents to ride in the road with the bike groups, you know, it's still a sticky situation. However, I do have many students and parents riding in the bike lanes at a few schools where there are bike lanes available. So that's definitely a good thing when you have bike lanes available and students are using them and parents.
All right, I think we're just about out of time. Jennifer, there was one attendee who had put up his email address in the Q&A. He was the gentleman that would like access to the documents. Do you still have that email, or should we ask him to once again input his email address?
Thank you, Sarah. I have it, and I will forward it to Jason.
Okay, very good. All right, well, thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you.
Now, we'd like to just let you know that our next webcast will be November 3rd, featuring observational survey of motorcyclist behaviors with Chan Young Lee from CUTR. That's November 3rd. So lastly, what we have is an evaluation. We would like to get your feedback on our webinar, and it just takes a couple minutes. And if you would do that, thank you so much for your participation in Safe Routes to School, and have a good afternoon.